Larry, we want to kick things off. We'll get started. Sound like a plan. I know we have a decent amount of other people that are going to be probably just rolling in little by little here. So first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Dan Tomaszewski with Everything MSP. Not to be confused with the other Dan Tomaszewski out there from Kaseya. I get his emails, he gets my emails, he gets tagged, I get tagged. It's funny. The worst was when I was told I got promoted. And I said, I remember I promoting myself. So, and then we have our good friend Larry, who is, what is the pronunciation that you get most?
The one that I get the most is meter, because they see mead and they just add on the end of it. But it's metter, like I met her at Everything MSP or met her at
other pronunciations though? Wasn't there another one?
Oh, Jesus. I've had one like Meadar, and I'm like, you're really stretching here. Why, you're trying way too hard. But it's funny. I mean, the name itself means maker of mead. The family came from England, all of that good stuff. So I'm like, hey, at least I got something going for me. I just wish I knew how to make mead.
There you go. So today's event, we're going to talk about cyber insurance and how you can help shorten your sales cycle. This event is meant to be more interactive. If you have questions as we go along, feel free to pop in. I know Larry will, there might be things that might be coming up in the presentation that he might be covering, but we want it to be a little bit more interactive and not as formalized as a traditional webinar. Larry is with DataStream, and Larry, you want to give an introduction of yourself and DataStream?
I would love to. So thanks, guys. Appreciate everybody coming in. Larry Metter, I'm the channel chief with DataStream Insurance. And as I like to jokingly say, I'm a channel guy. I've been in the channel for the past 20 plus years with a couple of different companies, who just happens to now be working for a cyber insurance company. So I'm not an insurance guy coming into the channel. So I'm a channel guy working for an insurance company and loving what we're doing. And, we're kind of new on the scene. We came out last year really and hit the scene pretty hard. And I was going to kind of introduce you to us as we get into the presentation here. But again, I'm a channel guy that's been out here for quite some time. I was with CNET for a long time, kind of representing the Channel Online platform that they had, and then was with Greenlink Networks, which was a VoIP provider, for a bit of time before I came to DataStream.
Awesome. So insurance, I'm sure you've had to, brush up on a whole bunch of reading of probably things that might put us to sleep at night, by reading.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Because, when it comes to insurance, regardless of what you're talking about, whether it's, cyber insurance or anything else, you got to be licensed to really be able to talk about it, get into the weeds, all of that good stuff. So, we're all licensed in 50 states as well as Canada. And we're really here, and kind of stealing some of my thunder as I get into this, we're here to be a resource for you guys. Partner with the MSPs and MSSPs that are out there and be a resource. Help educate your customers, and help you guys sell some more cybersecurity technology products.
Yeah, and it's so critical today, obviously, as regulation continues to come down, and as well as the sophistication of bad actors and just the amount of threats that are out there that are continuing to expand. Having that level of protection is critical, but also too, and hopefully I'm not stealing any thunder here, but as Larry and I have talked about, is just that partnership between technology and insurance is just a critical thing, because it's not like you can just throw insurance out there and say, okay, this is our cybersecurity plan of having some type of cyber liability insurance, because as we all know, we don't want to put our customers in that position. We need to put the technology solutions into place to help protect them, just as much as having appropriate type of liability insurance in the event of an incident. So with that being said, Larry, I'm gonna have you kick things off. I don't know if you wanted to start out with your slide deck.
Yeah, would love to kind of jump into it. Do you have to
Yeah,
turn on screen share for me?
yeah, there you go.
All righty. So let's pick the right monitor here. I think that should do it. You guys see my ugly mug up there?
We do.
All right, so now we got a plan. So yeah, once again, Larry Metter, I'm channel chief here at DataStream Insurance. And let's kind of jump into this. We've been doing this now for a little bit over a year. And one of the things that we keep hearing some of our existing MSP partners tell us is, hey, clients really don't get, they don't understand that they are at risk. They think it's going to happen to somebody else. They think it's going to happen to bigger companies, different things like that. Even when the clients do understand or feel the risk, sometimes solving it is complicated and it's expensive. So a lot of times the clients just kind of give up before we can even get in there and really help them. And oftentimes our partners will tell us that clients don't really get how cybersecurity works. They feel like I'm just always trying to sell them more. They don't understand. I'm really trying to protect their business, all of that good stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk today about how cyber insurance is driving cybersecurity spend. And in many instances, it's helping reinvigorate dormant sales cycles. In other instances, it's really helping accelerate a sales cycle, because cyber insurance is really becoming the de facto regulator in the space. It's driving that additional spend for our MSP and MSSP partners. And it's really starting to set some of the requirements that are out there, the timeline in which the customer puts these things into place, and the metrics. So first and foremost, let me explain who we are and what we're doing here and what we're going to be talking about. So we are DataStream Cyber Insurance. We are a specialist cyber insurance only broker. And we are actually owned by Envelop Risk. Envelop Risk is a UK company, and they have quickly become the world's third largest cyber reinsurance company. And guys, like I told you, I'm a channel guy, not an insurance guy. So when I first came here, I'm like, what is a reinsurance company? Because I simply didn't know. You guys may realize this. You're smarter than me. But a reinsurance company is that insurer that's out there insuring other insurance carriers. So as a result, we own a lot of data. We have visibility to a lot of data. Matter of fact, we have visibility into about 90% of all cyber claims made in North America over roughly the past 3, 4, 5 years. And that's a huge data set. And the reason I bring this up, you'll understand a little bit further once we get into a little bit deeper into the presentation here. But we're using this data to help, yeah, it sounds a little cliche, make the world a better place. We're trying to make insurance a better place, trying to make this easier for MSPs, trying to make it easier for your clients. So what we're going to be talking about today is really giving you guys visibility up front into the insurance process, into how your clients look to a cyber insurer. And we're going to show you some tools that we've got that kind of help identify some of this, and we'll get into that here as we go. But as you can see, we've got quite a few logos out on the screen. We've got a lot of different carriers within our portfolio. Matter of fact, we've got roughly about 40 carriers in our portfolio. So we've got a lot of markets that we can call on, and we're here to make things easy, not only for our MSP partners, we're also here to make it easy for your customer. And a lot of times people are like, oh, so you're focused on helping me, the MSP, get cyber insurance. Not necessarily our focus. We certainly can help you guys, but right now, MSPs, unfortunately, you are probably the hardest vertical out there to get cyber insurance for. So we're really more focused. We can help you, but we're really more focused on trying to help your clients get cyber insurance, because the more of them that get cyber insurance, the more your liability and your risk gets reduced. So, and I apologize right now for my voice. I'm fighting some bad allergies, so it's kind of coming and going a little bit. So it's a little bit softer than what I prefer, but hey, that's okay. So we've got a shared goal here. A mutual goal is to kind of just really bridge that gap between insurance and technology so that we protect these SMBs from cyber attacks. And there's some benefits here for everyone. And basically, when you take a look at this little flywheel, we do a lot of risk modeling and analysis. That's where some of that data that we own comes into play. Then we partner with IT consultants, MSPs, MSSPs to help reduce this risk, manage this risk, mitigate this risk for the clients, and give the clients and help, number one, make you guys, the MSPs, kind of a one-stop shop for everything cyber. We'll talk about that as we get into it, but really give your clients kind of that seamless integration of insurance, security, give them some confidence that they're getting a good policy, they're getting good premiums, and make it super, super easy for them as well as you. And we'll talk about that too as we go. And just make sure that everything's kind of fully integrated. Dan, I know when you and I were talking about this earlier, you kind of liked what we were doing here. And sometimes I get going on. Just feel free to interrupt me if you've got anything you want to add.
No, I mean, I think, when you and I were talking about, the whole aspect of bringing insurance and technology together, I view that as just a critical component. As I mentioned just a little bit ago, it's so much more than just throwing some type of a liability insurance coverage out there and saying, all right, well, let's rely on that. Let's do our best, but let's rely on, having a policy out there. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we don't want our clients to have to go through any type of incident. I mean, we can't control that 100%, but we want to do everything we possibly can to ensure that we're giving them the level of protection that they need to keep them from, the horror of an incident, but also to keep us from the horrors of the incident, because, we're partners. We work together with our clients. I like to tell our clients in my MSP that, it's a true partnership, not a client vendor relationship, because we're working together. We're doing what we can as side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and having those business conversations, moving away from those blinky lights, and just assist them with the entire process. The other thing I'll mention is, Larry mentioned the one-stop shop. I think what's critical here is, we've got clients that are going out to, industry events, different conferences, coming back and saying, hey, I was at this conference and they were talking about security risks, and there's a company there that offers some assessment services. And, the last thing that we all want to have done is some of our clients or any of our clients go into a conference hearing that there's a company that can come in and do a risk assessment or an IT assessment. And maybe that's under the guise that that's what they are focused on, but it ended up being more of a Trojan horse, a Trojan horse where, they're in here, they're talking about the good, bad, and the ugly, and they're kind of sliding themselves in as an organization that could take over managing their IT. So if we can focus on being a one-stop shop, yes, I said it right. It sounded weird as I said that.
One-stop shop, either one.
Yeah. If we can focus on that, then, we can help keep those others from coming into our business and kind of stepping on, our relationship with clients. So, because if we don't offer the service, if we don't provide this to them, somebody else will. And if they go
absolutely,
and they're like, hey, Dan's never talked to me about any of this stuff. maybe I should talk to this company because Dan probably doesn't offer any of this. We don't want that to be the case. We want them to be coming to us for these type of concerns.
Dan, I love it. I mean, it literally is something I'm getting ready to talk about here in another slide or two. And you said something really key here. To me, there has been a fundamental shift over the past few years. It used to be, MSPs, you guys are IT guys, but, you're business people. You're helping consult with other businesses and helping them run their business better through technology. So, you guys are really, throughout the pandemic, all of that good stuff. Who was it that kind of kept the economy going? Folks here watching this webinar or workshop, whatever we're calling it. So anywho, all right, let's kind of move on here. So, we talked about the little flywheel, how we're kind of bridging the gap between insurance and technology, but really what we're trying to do is help you encourage a holistic approach to cyber posture. And what I mean by that is we've got this little bar stool that we use, our little three-legged bar stool. And most of the MSPs that we talk to are trying to build that secure foundation for their customers. And they've got that tools and technology leg going on. They've sometimes have that compliance and legal leg going on, but oftentimes they don't have that insurance leg. And you know what? You can have the best tools, the best technology, the best processes, but none of them are foolproof. We talk about this all the time. The threat landscape, it doesn't change week by week, doesn't change day by day. It's changing hour by hour, if not minute by minute. So, and you really got to take a holistic approach to looking at this. And that's where we kind of have this little three-legged stool here. And, use cyber insurance to help guide the process and help both existing customers and prospective clients put the required components in place. Because like I said earlier, cyber insurance more and more is driving that technology spend for your customers. And we're going to talk about some free tools that we have out there that are going to help you, really create a simple and clear strategy to help address risk for your customers. And we're just trying to help you guys lead the way. As Dan just alluded to, if you're not already engaging your clients in all three of these areas, tools, technology, legal, compliance, and cyber insurance, you're doing a disservice to your clients. What's worse, you're opening the door for an MSP who is having these conversations. Just like Dan said, they can all of a sudden come in there and say, oh, I'm just going to do an assessment for you. But all of a sudden, as they're doing that assessment, they can kind of get in there and say, you know what? Dan's not talking about this. Let me just kind of tell him what all we do here, and let's see if we can't help him out. And next thing you know, you've lost a customer because you're not addressing it yourself. So we're here to help educate you guys and provide the resources so that you can have these conversations.
Larry, can you jump back one slide? I just want to make a quick comment.
Happy to.
So when we take a look at the stool here, I mean, we all, from the beginning, we work with our clients. We want them to have this secure foundation. We put the tools and the technology in place. And unfortunately, I think sometimes too often clients look as if we're just trying to push things on them and we're just trying to sell them more of our wares and, and all of our blinky lights. And as we've evolved, and as Larry just mentioned, we're having more of those business conversations, moving away from the blinky light discussion. And we start having, business owner to business owner conversations, and that's when we start incorporating, legal and compliance and the cyber insurance. And we can't make it happen necessarily with all of it, right? Just like that stool can't stand on its own with just one leg. And what's helping us here is it helps to validate why we've been having these discussions with our clients of why they need to have this secure foundation, why we need to put specific tools and technology in place. And there's some solid business reasons behind it, because it comes down to various things like the legal and compliance, and the cyber insurance. And, ultimately, it just helps us move along. It gives more validation to, what we've been telling them for years. But now, sometimes when it's, a third party, somebody externally that's helping to push that conversation, they then tend to listen, and I liken it to my children. I've got a 14 and 18-year-old, and I can talk to them about something till I'm blue in the face, but then they are at a friend's house and someone, that friend's parent mentions something, the same thing I've been talking to them about, but then they start accepting it and they start saying, yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes it just needs, an external source to help push and to help validate and to accept what we've been talking about all along.
Absolutely. We actually kind of call it the bad cop approach because, and I was going to talk about when we get into the serial report, but we'll talk about it now since you brought it up because it's so valid. And it has so many MSPs have come to us with this and they love the bad cop approach because, let's just take MFA, for example. I'm sure many of you guys have been telling your customers for a couple of years now, you really need to put MFA in place because it's really going to help protect you. It's a huge, huge factor in protecting your business from cyber attacks. Customers come to you and say, oh man, that's for the big guys. I'm too small. My business is not important enough. No hacker's going to come after me. It's complex. It's expensive. All of a sudden they bring us in after we do one of our assessments and we see that they don't have an MFA, and we get to kind of walk in there and say, guess what, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, you need to listen to your MSP partner here because they know what they're talking about. They've been telling you need MFA. We're here to tell you that without MFA, you're greatly reducing your chances to get insured. And more than likely, you're going to be paying a very pretty premium without MFA. And you've just reduced the options that are available to you. The policy is not going to be as good. You're not going to have as many carriers that want to help insure your business. Instead, you spend a little bit of money on technology, secure everything, and all of a sudden you've got a whole lot more options, a lot better policies to choose from, and much cheaper premium. So kind of jumped ahead of myself there, but Dan, you got me all excited when we started talking about that because we use that bad cop approach quite a bit. All right, so let's talk about some of the tools that we've got out here. And again, keep in mind, these tools are to help you kind of get in front of the process. We're looking at this just like a cyber insurance company is looking at your customers as well. We're not assessing what's going on behind the firewall because obviously we can't see that. That's what you guys can help us with. We're just looking at the exterior or the external posture of your customers' domains. And so we're going to talk about our partner risk report. We're also going to talk about our cyber insurance readiness assessments because that's all part and parcel to the partner risk report. So, and it's really kind of a simple 5-step process. I mean, you provide us with your customers' domains. We're going to analyze your portfolio of clients and we're going to help you triage them into groups. And it's basically kind of like that stoplight approach: green, yellow, red. Green, highly insurable, probably going to get the best premiums, the best policies that are available. Yellow guys, yeah, they're still insurable, but they could probably do a few things to shore up their security posture a little bit. The red ones, well, we've all got those red guys, they're kind of the problem children that are out there. And they're the ones that we really kind of got to focus on because, the yellow and the red, while they still might be insurable, they've got very few options available to them as opposed to the guys that are in the green group. And it also typically means those are the ones that are going to be able to spend some money with you. So the first 2 steps, we do all that work for you. Then we work with you to kind of help engage with your clients. We have our MSPs come up to us all the time and say, okay, so how do I enter into conversation about this with my client? And so we'll ask a few questions to find out where that client is in the process. Are they green, yellow, red? And we've got various ways for you to kind of enter into that conversation with these folks. Then, of course, if you want to, we can expand this approach to prospective clients so that you can go out there and say, hey, I've taken a look at a few things and I think we can help you out. And then, of course, we always encourage revisiting this all the time because the threat landscape's always changing and the market's changing itself. And all of these tools that we're talking about, guys, absolutely free, no cost whatsoever. So some of you, I shot out some emails a couple of weeks ago about, hey, send us your domains. We'll make this interactive. Some of you took advantage of it. Some of you I know held off, and we can still do that after this. but I'm going to explain what is in the portfolio risk report. And one of the key things here is, if you remember, I talked to you about how Envelop Risk owns us, and Envelop Risk as a reinsurance company has tremendous visibility into claims data made over the past 3, 4, 5 years. Matter of fact, like I said, I think it's about 90% of the North American marketplace. So what we do with that data is, you got to start somewhere. So we build a baseline expected risk of having a cyber incident. And this is not just, everyone. We're doing this by vertical, by, your customer's industry and by their revenue band, because we don't want to take a $500,000 accounting firm and compare them to a multi-billion-dollar manufacturing firm, because that's apples to oranges. So we really want to stick within the various verticals of your customers so that we can kind of do this apples to apples comparison. So we build a baseline expected risk, and this comes from all of that claims data that we have access to. Then we compare. Whoop, Dan, were you trying to say something?
Well, no, I was just going to throw in, you guys, Rez, William, or Jonathan, you can agree or disagree here, but I think too often, a lot of the tools that we have in our industry, a lot of tools that are provided by vendors in the channel for anything, whether it be, something related to this or data loss, downtime. A lot of times those reports, they're not apples to apples like Larry's talking about. And sometimes you look at that and the numbers are so large, it's like far-fetched. And, when you bring it to the client and they look at it and they're like, I don't even do anywhere near that in sales, but you're telling me that's how much that, I could potentially lose. And it doesn't help our, our efforts. And so I do really appreciate that this is drilled down deeper to be more apples to apples and more in line with what that client is. I mean, have you guys feel the same way with in that regard, in some of the reports and tools that are out there? Yeah.
Yep, I see some heads shaking there.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about tools, because tools are just all fluff.
Sure. Yeah.
That don't work half the time, which is why we got off most of them in the last 2 years.
Right.
There you go. There you go. So we've got that baseline expected risk, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to compare that baseline risk to what we call the modeled risk after we take a look at that customer's external cybersecurity posture. And again, guys, I want you to keep this in mind. We're looking at this as an insurer is going to look at things, okay? We're not getting into the weeds here. We're just getting a quick snapshot to see what things look like and how insurable is this customer. So we compare the modeled risk against the baseline risk. And if the company sits above the expected risk line, they are considered to be a little bit riskier than its industry and revenue would typically predict. But if they sit below the line, they're less risky than what that baseline expected risk is telling us. Now, if you've got your reports there, you can look at your own data, because everybody's is going to look a little bit different. But I'm going to kind of continue on here real quick. And remember, I said the stoplight approach: good, yellow, green, yellow, red. So again, good, close to good, you need some work. So each one of these different segments, you may have different plans for these guys, but we kind of show you each of the domains that you sent in, how they look, where they've been segmented, so that you can engage with next steps. And we can help you with those next steps on how you engage with these people. Like the green guys, hey, they're ready for insurance. So you might want to talk to them to find out. Don't know if you guys already know if they've got insurance or not, but we need to find out, hey, do you already have cyber insurance? Oh, fantastic, you do, that's great. Would you like to have a free policy review by our partner DataStream? Because one of the things that we have found, folks, is that a lot of your customers may tell you they've got cyber insurance, but sometimes they've got a good policy, but sometimes we found that it's a rider on their CGL or their business owner's policy. And unfortunately, that doesn't cover a whole lot. So we'll do a free policy assessment with you guys, provide that information to you and to your client so that we can at least tell them if they've got a good policy. And we're very open, honest, and upfront. If they've got a great policy, we're going to tell them, you know what, this is a good policy. We probably can't touch it. If you'd like some more options at the time of renewal, we are absolutely more than happy to help you out with that. But right now, we would say that you probably ought to stick with that policy. I think Erez had a question there, Dan.
Yeah, let's, Erez, you can go ahead and jump in there.
Yeah, so thank you. I believe I met you, Larry, in October in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you did.
And I think at the time, I had a couple challenges. One, I'm north of the border, so I don't know if anything's changed in the last couple months working with partners up in Canada, but obviously there's a big question about cyber insurance, and we've got a lot of things happening right now that's changing. Number one, if you give me an example, like my cyber insurance pre-COVID was, I think, $5,000 out of my E&O, and I'm with one of those guys that are on your, I think it's Beasley I'm with right now, which is one of the, one of the carriers that you're under that umbrella there. And I think my renewal with E&O and everything, obviously that's just a portion of it. I think it went up from like a total of $14,000-15,000 a year. My renewal with no claims, it's just the renewal went up to almost $45,000. And so it tripled in dollar value, with supposedly MSPs being super high risk. And then I'm hearing other issues in regards to the sector because one, all these so-called background checks are being done and payouts are now being denied depending on circumstance. And so my customers are being told one thing about it in respect to what they're getting coverage for. We don't understand it completely because we're not insurance advisors, nor do I want to be an insurance advisor. So, and then putting this on my table, what we've been trying to do is basically say, have our cyber stands and cyber policies, and we'll help you get a savings on your cyber insurance, or at least you'll pass and you'll get cyber insurance, because apparently now they're even denying cyber insurance for companies that don't have the checklist of things, right? So I like how you're nodding your head. So I've been through this whole process with, hundreds of companies that we're working with. So I've got a slew of these challenges. I fully agree. And the reason why I'm here is I think we had this over a brief conversation back in November, October.
We sure did. Mm-hmm.
It's not a matter of if you're going to get breached. We all know this, right? Like, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get breached today, tomorrow. So insurance is the way to go. But you want to make sure that you're getting the right coverage, that you're going to get paid out if and when that happens, and you're going to get the right coverage, because are they just paying you to remediate and get the data recovered at a data center, or paying the MSP to restore your data? Or if you're really ransomed and you were a targeted attack, are they going to help pay it out to get your data back? Because again, those rules are changing. And so how do you go about working in this and kind of going through the hurdles? Because obviously there's a lot of moving parts here that I'm struggling with, and being in this business now for over 20 years, I also am struggling to kind of know where to start.
It can be daunting. There's no doubt. You actually had a bunch of questions all wrapped into the big one there. I mean, number one, I just kind of wanted to touch on Canada. Yes, we operate in Canada with the exception of Quebec. We do have another broker partner up in Canada that's working with us. And I'd also like to announce, some of you probably know her. We've actually just added to our team here. We just hired Desiree Thomas away from Kaseya or /Datto. Des is awesome, and she resides in Canada. So she's going to be getting licensed in Canada. So that's going to be a fantastic thing for us. But Des just joined our team last week. So if you guys know Des from Datto, she's you're going to be seeing her with me. She's a rock star and a half. She's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
We're so excited to have her on board. So to answer that question, Canada, you also talked about how your premiums increase dramatically. And, you know, we've seen that, especially with MSPs. You know, it's just the state of the market right now. And I kind of want to explain a little bit how we operate internally. I run our partner team, you know, working with MSPs like yourselves. Then we have an agency team, and the agency team is the one that works with the carriers direct and with you once you make an application, your customers make an application, all of that good stuff. So Erez, I do think we could hopefully help you. Can't, you know, obviously can never predict if we can find something better, but we're happy to try to work with you. We've got several carriers that are MSP friendly, and we're actually working on bringing on another really big one that's been MSP friendly. So hopefully that would mean that we could be able to help you a little bit in the future, and happy to have an offline conversation. I'm going to kind of keep going on here because I'm watching the clock and we're running out of time just a little bit. And I kind of want to jump into this. So, you know, we talked about that portfolio risk report. You know, you provide us the domains, you know, whether it's 5, 10, 150 customers, give us those domains. And what you're going to get are these individual CIRA reports, cyber insurance readiness assessment. So it's just, again, guys, we're getting you in front of this process. Cyber carriers are doing the same thing. They are running these reports on the domain so that they can just kind of take a look and see if they see any red flags. We're helping you get in front of that process. We're going to show you these individual reports. These come to you, the MSP. These do not go to the customer unless you want to share them with the customer, which you're more than welcome to do. But what it's going to do is kind of dive in there and talk about how risky is your business compared to your peers. You know, what is the average claim over the past few years? What was the total cost of claims in this particular industry? And what was the largest claim? Because this is going to give you some real world data to put in front of your clients to say, oh, I'm not important enough. Well, guess what, Mr. Customer? Here's what you're facing. Can you afford this? If you were to suffer an incident, most of them are going to say, wow, no, I can't afford that. So anywho, let's kind of keep going here real quick, jump into this a little bit further. Like I said, if you want to share these individual reports with your customer, we make it stupid easy for you. One of the pages in the partner risk report, you'll have, I know I've got to kind of blow it up here a little bit. Hopefully you can see it. There's a download button. You click on that download button. Dan, I know you've done it, and it downloads that CIRA right there. So you've got it and you can kind of study it and all that stuff. And all of a sudden you decide you want to share that with the client. There's a share button right beside it. Not only does it just share it, it opens up an email template that we've already written for you. And we've done 90% of the work here. Just try to make it easy for you guys. Of course, this template is totally customizable, but we've already customized each template based on the client and their vertical to try to just make it super, super easy for you guys to get this information out to your customers and initiate that conversation with your customers. So in addition to the partner risk report, the CIRAs, we got a whole slew of other tools that you can use to engage with your clients in these conversations, regardless of which bucket the customer falls into. We've developed cybersecurity posture checklists that you can kind of just put in front of the customer. You can go down the list and say, you know, you check this one, you check this one. Whoops, we missed that one. But, you know, it just kind of explains to them what these things are and why they're important, why they need it. We got 2 different checklists right now, one just kind of for the smaller, lower risk customers, and one for the more complex, higher risk customers, higher risk verticals. We got a fantastic partner portal out there for you guys to go out and get those checklists, get all types of stuff. We've got all kinds of marketing materials available to you. We've got co-branded materials to where you can upload your logo right in the portal, put your logo on top of some of these PDFs, download them, PowerPoint decks, training videos, you name it. It's also where you can come out here and refer a customer to us, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And once you get those customers that actually start applying for insurance, you can track the whole application process within the portal. And it's going to keep track of renewal dates. And we're going to flag you and let you know, hey, 120 days away from company ABC's renewal date. Let's do an assessment. Let's make sure they still look good. Let's make sure that they're going to get the best premium possible. We really, truly are honoring partnership. We're here to help, guys. We're here to help you. We've even made it so easy that we've built a cyber insurance tracker because, you know, sometimes you just need a little Excel spreadsheet. You know, track where your clients currently are with their cyber insurance is a fantastic way to just first engage with them. You know, who's your client? What's their website? What's their cyber posture level look like? Do they already have cyber insurance? Yes or no? If so, who is it with? How much are they insured for? It helps keep everything right there. You may not want to use that, but if you do, we've got it available to you. And then we've got several different ways to engage with the customers. Well, really, I'd say several, but two. There's basically two paths here. You can either have us contact the customer, and we're going to always CC you on any emails, keep you abreast of anything that's going on. Or sometimes you may want to do a warm introduction, either via email. Maybe you want to have us jump on a phone call, do a Zoom meeting. Any way you want to do it, we're happy to help you guys out. Introduce those customers to us. Let us have those conversations. Let us be that bad cop and help reinforce what you're already telling these folks. And, you know, you can do this so many different ways. I've had customers, I've got one of my larger MSPs who has over 1,000 clients. They absolutely loved what we're doing. They gave us all their domains in an initial batch. We put all these reports together. We even started building the reports sales rep by sales rep, because, you know, Dan may manage 50 clients, Jonathan might manage 75 clients, William or Chip, sorry, might manage 25 clients. And so we're building these portfolio reports by sales rep. I don't know how big your organizations are, but that can be done. So you could either give us an initial batch of these guys, or maybe you want to just kind of give us some week by week so that you can build these into quarterly business reviews, you name it. We're happy to get the referrals and the introductions, however you want to do it and however frequently you want to do that. And then, you know, just some of the next steps here after receiving the results is, you know, we can email you the initial targets using our SIRA reports, all of that good stuff. You can fill out the insurance tracker. We can help meet again if we need to in a couple of days, 7 to 10 days afterwards, you name it. We're really here to try to make this just stupid easy for you guys. So I think let's go through here real quick. And yeah, that takes us to
say real quick.
Yeah, go Dan. Sorry.
I mean, I really appreciate that aspect of it, just because of the fact that, you know, there are so many hours in the day. I mean, we are continuing to be our schedules are becoming dominated with more and more, and, you know, we need to be able to do more with less. And so having a partner, you know, as you illustrated, benefits us in so many ways, just because it allows us to do more with less, and to leverage the partnership in providing the service that we need to provide for our clients. So that's really something that's captured my eye.
Yep. No, I appreciate you saying that. I mean, again, like I said, we really value that sense of partnership here. You know, you're the technology experts and you're the expert on your client. We're just here to be that resource for you because, you know, like Dan said, I don't think any of you want to go out there and take that exam that I had to take. It's not a lot of fun. But, you know, if you want to, hey, that's all up to you. We're just there to be that resource, that educational source, and to engage with you so that you can engage with your clients to help better protect them, which in turn helps protect your business. So that's really kind of what we got for right now. If you're not already a partner with us, guys, we'd love for you to become a partner. It is absolutely free for all of our partners to become part of our partner network. We'll work with you. We'll walk you through the partner portal. We'll introduce you to these email templates, all of that good stuff. And if you want to go ahead and submit some domains and let us build a partner risk report for you, we can do it. Usually I can turn that thing around. You submit it today, I can usually have it to you by tomorrow. If all of a sudden you dump 1,500 domains on me, it might take a little bit longer. By the end of the week, I would say, but we can pretty much spin on a dime here. So I appreciate that, and let's open it up for any questions and see if I can answer a few. Unless you have something, Dan.
No, the only thing I'd say is, as far as the partnership aspect, you mentioned that it's free, but it's also pain-free. It's very easy to become a partner. We went through the process in my MSP recently. We've supplied Larry with a group of domains. Now I submitted just a small portion, feeling like I don't want to overwhelm Larry, and Larry's like, you submit as many as you need to, we can handle it. So it just makes it easy. So now, we're beginning the process of working with one specific account right now that just happened to go to a trade show, and they have this new, even though we've discussed this, they have this new level of energy about cyber insurance and security. And so this is just helping us drive some decisions that we've been wanting to do, things that we've been wanting to make changes for. Now all of a sudden we have full attention, and it's just making the process so much easier for us.
Yep, no, that's awesome to hear. And Dan, you guys have been fun to work with, and it's, again, I can't say it enough. We're here to kind of be that resource, and it doesn't take us much time to run these reports. The more information you can supply us on the customers, the better. And then, who knows what the future holds. Under the hood, we ultimately are a data science company. That's how we were founded. We've got two brilliant co-founders, Andy Anderson, who's our CEO. He used to be an insurance analyst on Wall Street as well, worked in the cybersecurity industry. And then Max Henderson's our chief data scientist. And, Dan's already interfaced with both of those guys. Man, what a wealth of knowledge they are. They have forgotten more about insurance than what I've learned so far. But you guys got to remember, I'm a channel guy. I'm still picking up on all this insurance stuff. But we see such tremendous opportunity with our MSP partners, our MSSP partners, and all of the clients that you guys manage. We just are here to help. And, we're also, here's one of the really cool things, and Dan can attest to this. You need to get on the phone with Andy. You need to get on the phone with Max. Man, we can make it happen. They can jump on the horn with you really quick, kind of get into the weeds on some of this stuff. That's what part of being a partner is about. We're really here to just help.
Yeah. And just, as you're mentioning, there were some things that I just wasn't quite understanding, because like you said, we're in the IT business, you guys are in the insurance business, two completely different specialties. And, spending a little bit of time on the phone just really helped to, get some of my answers, or some of my questions answered very quickly.
Yep, absolutely. There's the Larry explanation of things, and then there's the Max explanation. And yeah, the Max explanation usually helps Larry quite a bit, but no, it's what they do under the hood to build some of this and establish that baseline risk, and then the modeled risk and stuff like that. There's some true rocket science going on, and we often joke about that because our data science team, many of them came from the aerospace industry. They kind of took a look at this over at Envelop Risk, and they looked at this insurance marketplace and said, you know what, we can use a lot of the AI and the machine learning and all of that good stuff that we use in the aerospace industry, and we can apply it to insurance, and we can create better products, and we can create lower risk. We can help get in front of this. And so that's exactly what they've been doing. And now we've created Data Stream to kind of be over here in North America, working with our partners such as you guys and ladies here in the United States and Canada.
Well, I see Erez has a hand up.
Oh, didn't see
Me
that one.
again. Yes, I know. So how do we, I guess, from a matter of time, obviously, I want to keep this short, but I'd like to understand sort of the revenue streams, the actual stickiness of the whole partnership and how it works. What do I need to do to sort of engage you guys to go through this whole thing in the sense of how we work together?
Yep, absolutely. Great questions, Erez. Let me kind of address those for you. So first and foremost, to engage with us, the first thing you can do is either reach out to us or go ahead and fill out our partner application that's out on datastreaminsurance.com. Being a partner, again, is totally free. Now, you ask a very, very key question here. And, again, I've been in the channel a long time, and vendors have conditioned MSPs into, hey, what's in it for me? What's the spiff? What's the commission? What's the revenue share? What's the referral? All of that good stuff. Well, welcome to insurance. Insurance is a highly regulated industry. And by law, you cannot pay commissions to anyone unless they are a licensed insurance agent. So we can't pay commissions. We can pay referral fees, but they're very nominal. And most of the time, we're talking maybe 25 to 40 bucks, depending on what state you're in. And Erez, up there in Canada, it's a little bit different. And I've actually learned recently, Canada is actually a little bit more tight than some of the stuff here in the United States. But obviously I don't live up there, so I'm not intimately familiar with it. But, there are referral fees, but really many of the MSPs are like, I'm not really interested in that. I don't want to make money on insurance because you know what? You're going to help me sell more products. You're going to help me sell them faster, and you're going to help me sell them easier than I ever have before. And, again, I've had partners tell me, I don't have to sell. All I have to do is take orders. That's because cyber insurance is really driving that technology spend. You got customers that need to get that small business loan, or you've got customers that are trying to sign a new vendor contract. Well, guess what? Many of those loans, those contracts are now requiring that small business to have cyber insurance because too many people have been burned in the past. So that's what I'm saying. Cyber insurance is really going to drive that technology spend. But we also have a pretty aggressive MDF program. We want to help you guys promote your business. Because if we help you promote your business, you're going to get more customers. You're going to bring more customers to us, and it's all going to be a win-win-win at the end. So we do provide pretty good MDF to you guys to help promote your business. We also have a partner referral program. Like if you're already a partner and you want to refer another MSP over to us, we'll send you something. We'll send you a gift card somewhere, something like that. So we're, again, we really want to gain your partnership, and there's a lot of trust involved. We know that. We want to build the relationship. We want to earn that trust. And we've tried to structure our partner program to do just that for you guys.
And Larry, you said it exactly right, as far as, how we're conditioned to, what kind of revenue stream might there be or some referrals. But for me, this becomes such a critical way for us to drive more sales in a way that, we haven't
Bingo.
in the, for all those things that, we're been discussing with some clients, talking until we're blue in the face. Now, all of a sudden, they're more engaged in the conversation, and it's all about just driving additional business for us. It's all project work, and it just helps push along. So for me, the way I look at it is that's my form of compensation as far as me being able to drive more business.
You got it. You got it, man. You totally get it. Appreciate you saying that.
Rez, did you have another question?
Nope, that's it for me. I just filled out the application form.
Woo-hoo!
Excellent.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
In the chat, I do have the partner application link, as well as the cyber risk assessment, and that's where you would put the domains in and and such.
Yep. And you can also just, once you're on board, you can just shoot us an Excel spreadsheet with some of that info if you want. But we've tried to make it easy. It's out there on the website. You can kind of go out there and request it yourself if you want to. The other part of our MSP partner program, I talk about MDF. I talked about the partner referrals, but we also can help send leads your way. And once you're a partner, we'd love to talk to you about that, because we've seen some fantastic results with some of the leads that we've pushed out to some of our MSP partners, and they've been really, really excited about what they've seen. And that's kind of a new thing that we just started doing here fairly recently. But so yeah, another reason to become a partner with us right then and there. We'll hopefully help you build your business.
Any other questions? No, we hope today was very informative for you guys. Definitely an area that we all can't avoid any longer, and it's just something that to have a partner like Larry help make this easier for us is really what it's all about. With that being said, Larry, as always, thank you so much for your time and knowledge. And Chip, Jonathan, Rez, we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much. And Larry's contact information is there. So if you do have any questions, please reach out to Larry. But with that being said, everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. Mr. T, thank you.